All right. Social trendsetters, social distances, social influences, social pests. I love it. Have a look. Check it out. Check it out. There's a few ships out there. I haven't got the gimbal because I got it, but look, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So does that mean, because I haven't seen ships out, or I haven't actually sat here much often in recent weeks, but when I haven't really seen any ships. So does that mean, and because most of them come from China, right, or they're going to China, so does that mean that we're friends again? Does that mean that we're good again? Beautiful here, and there's some heavy, hectic, fluffy, dark clouds down that way. We'll call that the west, southwest. All right, we'll refer to that as. But in the other direction, good. And there's some work going on up there. It looks like it's blowing back up over the top of the. They're doing some strata stuff, you know. So I was just making a podcast. The last couple were about like Christmas and relationships. Christmas and relationships. Online shopping. How good's that? And even though I've been quite vocal about the blues and their lack of soul, which is accurate, no political correctness here, it's just correct. If you want to do political, go and join a political party. But we just do correct here, correct and accurate. Alright? No need for tiptoeing around on eggshells and trying to paint shit up and make it look pretty. We just do correct here. We don't do political correctness. What do you reckon, guys? You agree with that? Yeah. Just correct. Without offending anyone, you know what I mean? I'm making a podcast. I just put it out there, raw, unscripted. You know, opinions. I'm doing a YouTube right now, but I do podcasts and I just talk about life and my experiences and things that I do in life, my different jobs, roles, tasks. I come here often, almost every day, and I haven't seen the ships out there for a while.
Oh, we're just talking about
Does that mean that we're good with China again?
Yeah, well, we're just talking about the thing is, see, it's their winter now.
Ah, yeah.
So they need more coal.
Ah, yeah. Ah, yes. Yep. There you go.
I was up at the branch, which is in between Brewer and Stroud on the weekend, at old Clyde's place, and he's 40 years of coal mine. I don't know how many, but the big majority of the coal mines are owned by the Chinese.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yang Coal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, we get a lot of bullshit on them.
Oh yeah, we do, and you know, like on the socials, whether it's mainstream or whether it's independent news, they, you know, it's hard to determine what's accurate and what's got an agenda. You know, like.
Well, Mark Latham's been going all night on with that Matt Keane about our energy market, because they want to spend squillions on fucking solar panels, which are, you know, fucking waste of time. And so he's been going all night, Mark Latham. He's done 289 proposals for the energy market, but that's for the state government.
Jeez.
And Angus Taylor was on this morning talking about like the Narrabri gas fields that are open now. I was up there, you know, and they were fucking drilling when I was up there because I was working on a lot of mobile equipment and stuff. And I said, what are you doing? They go, oh, there's a underground mine there, we've got to put a shaft down to take the methane out. But now I realise they were doing exploratory stuff.
And they're feeding you.
They reckon when they take the gas out of the coal, coal's useless.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know heaps about it, and I've never really been into political anything, But like with the whole COVID thing, that's changed a lot of the way people think and feel and see, you know. And for me, and I'm not a flat earther or a conspiracy theorist person, but I'm about like what reality, you know, like the reality of it, yeah. So, you know, and with all of the business that's been going on, you know, and everyone's going like Donald blaming China for the virus, and you know, when they're probably both involved, you know.
Well, my mate, I reckon he hit it on the head because he was private security in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he knows a lot of the Yanks.
Yeah.
The Yanks reckon that, of course, as soon as fucking Trump went over and put it on the Chinese and said, you can get fucked, you're putting tariffs on this, tariffs on that, we're not buying this, we're not buying that. That's when they released the fucking virus.
There you go. And
they stopped everyone coming into China.
Yeah.
They let every country go out.
So, and this is still recording, so no names, right? But there's a guy, I mean, in terms of who you work for, your name and that, but because I will publish this, but I'll tell you, there was two guys, right, on the internet, very early when it's all started happening, and a friend brought it to my attention, and he's an economist, and he said the same thing as what you just said. He said that the Chinese signed the trade agreement reluctantly under duress, and as soon as you know, they thought about it, or they were already thinking about it before they signed it, then there come the virus, and for the purpose of what?
To get rid of Trump.
Yeah, that's it. And you know,
Left jumped on it.
They're all over it. But Biden, oh my God, they could have picked somebody better. But you know what? When Trump first came out, I was like, oh my God. But I kind of warmed to him in the end because he wasn't as bad as what they're making out. Like really, you know, he's got some history and, you know, but he's not as bad as what some of the other crap that they've thrown up at us. And that does affect us and the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does.
So, but you're spot on. So that just confirms what I was thinking.
Yeah.
There's another guy called Rashid Bahar or something, and he was talking about how the virus isn't a naturally known phenomenon, and the pandemic in inverted commas, as I refer to it as, and he was saying that, you know, and they've tried to shut him down, but a lot of his stuff is accurate when we're talking about, you know, the 99.9% recovery, and the people that are vulnerable, people like me, morbidly obese, people over 70, people with heart, lung, you know, pre-existing health conditions, they're the people that are vulnerable, and that, you know, when you hear on the radio, and I was listening closely, 4 people died last night, one was 70, one was 80, one was 90, you know what I mean? So, like, they're taking the piss, like, really, in all honesty, but a lot of people are too scared to say anything. So I've been barred on Facebook on 3 occasions during the COVID for a month at a time for sharing something that I found on Facebook. And from people that, you know, you checked out their credentials and stuff. Because I was a TAFE teacher, right? So when I'm telling the students this is what we accept, and it was only anything from professional organisation, right, university, or usually government, you know, stuff like when we're talking about health, right? Because that's what I taught, believe it or not. So otherwise we didn't accept what Bobby Brown said on YouTube, or what was, you know, it had to be, and then you cross-reference stuff. It had to be credible. It had to be, you know, so for all of this, I've looked at other stuff and not just gone, oh yeah, because he said it, that's it. But all that stuff, information that you spoke about, but it makes sense. The numbers are there. Numbers don't lie, right?
He'll send me a message, what are you doing? I go, I'm on fucking YouTube. Because I'm following this Giuliani stuff at the moment, and Trump. Yeah. And that woman who's found the machines that count the votes.
The indiscrepancies in the votes.
Yeah, the Dominican. And they can just take 6,000 votes from Trump and stick straight on.
Well, you know what? They do it on the music industry. There's a guy out there called Takeshi, and he's got the multicoloured hair, and he's just off his chops. But he's and they locked him up for a bit, and then he lagged on people, and they gave him protection. But he's like, the music he makes is trash, right? But the kids love it, and he streamed like millions and millions, yet on the billboard, they tampered with the numbers and made that Ariana Grande or one of the others look better than him when it wasn't true. Yeah. So that, they can tamper with whatever they want. And it's just sad, but isn't it really that?
Well, you know how they said they've dropped her from the legal challenge? It's only because her case might take 6 months, where at the moment, I think they're doing recounts, even recounting Georgia again, because they just went through and counted all the votes that were there. But a lot of them are just bullshit. Like they found, like this, say 10,000 more people voted in Georgia than lived there.
You check out these two guys called the Hodge twins.
Oh, the two black guys?
Yeah, they're conservative.
They're
Political commentators, they're really
good.
Aren't they? Yeah, good. You've seen them. They're gold. And like I said earlier, I've never really ever been into it. I'm only 52. When I was young growing up, Midnight Oil making a noise about nuclear disarmament and all that stuff, and when Ronald Reagan was the man at that time, and I did a few Palm Sunday marches and got into that, but then I got severely disappointed when Peter Garrett ended politics and he did zero for what he stood for, right? For what he represented. And then now he's left politics and he's jumped back into music and he's jumping up and down making noises about our Aboriginal people writing songs in their defence. I'm not going to get into that debate.
Well, I lived in fucking Darwin for 2 years, so I can tell you about the fucking Aboriginal.
Yeah, I got a few friends that that are realists. Are realists. They're not like, oh, we're all getting flogged, but they're realists. So that's what I focus on, because we can all have our little issues and whinge and complain about a multitude of topics and whatever. But at the end of the day, I used to run a hotel back in the when I was much younger, like in the early 20s, and I used to have to toss people out all the time. That was just before the RSA stuff, right? And I remember one night I chucked out a guy, and he was Aboriginal fella, and I knew most of them, and he said, "Oh, you're chucking me out because I'm black." I said, "Oh, I'm chucking you out because you're an asshole, mate." I said, "It's got nothing to do with the colour of your skin. Because if you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
That's it. True. Doesn't matter. And there's good and bad in everyone. But at the end of the day, there are issues in some of those places that are out of control.
Palmerston's the biggest suburb in Darwin.
And I think the government are doing not as much about it as they probably could, because they maybe do have a little agenda. But like I said, I don't get into that too much because I don't know enough about it. And it gets ugly. Yeah. Yeah, see? But anyway, it's a bit disappointing about... I think Trump, this is my opinion, I don't think that he wants to do the recount and challenge all that because he thinks that he should be in charge. I think he knows that something wasn't right. Yeah, something wasn't right, and he just wants justice.
Well, it was 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. Even Alan Jones, all the commentators said, "What Trump's won. Trump thought he won. Trump's son thought he won." They went to bed and got up 3 hours later, and that's when that 140,000 votes come out of nowhere. Every one of them.
And that's why it would be suspicious, because you don't get a huge number just like that. It just pops up like bang, like you'd expect a couple of thousand, a gradual increase, not
but
like boom.
They showed CNN, the 2 commentators on CNN. They had the votes up there, and in front of everyone's eyes. And I've only seen it on YouTube. The votes went like, say, 6,500 for Biden, 8,000 to Trump, and in front of your eyes it went 2,000 votes went up there and came off Trump. But everyone saw it. That was CNN.
Yeah.
But
it's just ridiculous. And I know people out there that are like so dead set against Trump because they're believing what the lefties are doing and that mainstream are trying to, because they've got an agenda, and you call it New World Order, whatever you want.
Reset.
Yeah, and literally, and it is, because there's people like us that we're not flat earthers, we're not conspiracy theorists, we're about like what we see, and we're measuring it and against other things and making a balanced, informed, intelligent decision.
What the average moron doesn't realise, like places like California and that, they got wind turbines, they got solar. But as soon as there's no wind and there's no sun, they just fucking bring in nuclear power from another state.
Oh, right.
That's like us. That's what the big thing's about at the moment. If they close down the Liddell power station, we lose 1,600 megawatts. And that's what it basically takes to run Tonga smelter.
I was following a bit about that a few months back.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening today. Like, Mark Latham's in there now with his 289 agendas to battling with that Matt Keane, who's a full bloody left-wing green. He wants to put bloody wind turbines everywhere. But the other night, we'll get up to 38,000 megawatts on the east coast on a hot night. You watch on the weekend. So we're drawing 32,000 megawatts, and there's a site you can go on live electricity generation. We were only getting 3,000 megawatts from wind.
Live electricity generation, is it a site or an app?
Yeah, it's going to Google. You're not going to see it, Robbie. See, look. Google, live electricity generation Australia, boom. And then you go to the widget. So I should work in the power station. So this is the actual computer that runs the power station. Live electricity supply. And those colours, like, will tell you something. If you go down here, fucking come on.
So this is like a public can access this, but
Yeah. Well, so at the moment we're only drawing 25,000 megawatts.
yeah.
Small solar we're getting 2,673. Large solar we're getting nearly say 2,000.
So is this information
this is actually
able to be used by like?
See, wind we're getting 1,600 megawatts.
Okay.
But if you come over here, all the power's coming from, you know, like you say 13,000 there, 15, 18,000, gas 18, 19. So 20,000 of our 25,000. What are we getting from hydro? Because hydro's right there. Well, 21,000 of the 25,000 is coming from gas, hydro, coal. So if you take them out of the fossil fuel out of it, we're getting to. And if a cloud comes over, that'll go down.
Yeah.
So you can't run anything off it.
Yeah.
So we're getting 2,600, so 4,600. So wind, 5,000, 6,000. So we're getting 20,000 from fossil fuel and 5,000 from that. But yeah, live electricity generation. And it's all there. And
I've got it on YouTube, so I'll check that out again.
It's Google.
Yeah, but I've recorded it, so I won't forget it.
Yeah.
Because I've got a mind like a spaghetti colander sometimes, you know, just go straight through. But yeah, no, I always sit here and I've interviewed a few people over the last few months. You know, an 88-year-old bloke that was at Parramatta Stadium when they burned it down, and you know, just I don't always, and I'm not always looking to, but you know, sometimes there's an opportunity like you guys rolling up and you know, offering some information. Oh yeah, oh absolutely. Some people will see me recording or talking to myself, which looks like that's what I'm doing, and they'll cross the road.
You're in the right place to be an owner in the entrance. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll fit right in. I'm just like, you know, because I got a Filipino wife, right? So it's about 4 years. She's great woman, good with money, honest, hard work, and you know we do it together. She said to me when she came here, because in her country you can spot the foreigner because it's predominantly it's all Filipinos, right?
Yeah.
But when she came here, she was like, oh, seeing so many different nationalities. I said, hon, you'll be right, you'll fit in. You'll only get the odd person the odd ignorant person that'll go like that. But like she fits right in, you know, and because I said, you don't know what country you're in when you come to Australia, really, right?
But we're all racist.
Yeah, absolutely. And even those that the ones that are claiming to be the victim, even they're racist. They are. So, you know, I just say it how it is. And you know, nobody's unsubscribed. You know, the people are still there because they want to know, right? Yeah. Even if they hate me, they're still there because they want to know what's going on. So it's all good, Dave. But you know what? I know death threats yet.
It's going to be interesting today, like this big meeting with Mark Lathan.
Who's he meeting with?
with the whole state government.
Oh, really?
About our energy sector.
And is he working independently or
He's
for?
One Nation.
Oh, you're right.
But remember, he used to be, wasn't he the Labor Prime Minister for a while?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
Latham was like right up there.
Yeah, then he looked in it and went, this is a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
But what's really put the cat amongst the pigeons is Joel.
Is that? That's what's putting the cat amongst
Joel
the pigeons.
Fitzgibbon. Joel Fitzgibbon leaving like Labor, you know, Joel Fitzgibbon.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He said like Labor's never going to win an election while ever they're, you know, doing the latte set, wind and solar, alternative energy, open the borders, let every bastard in. You know?
See, and One Nation cops are flogging because they've got some slightly, you know.
Well, she fucked up when she said that the fucking coronavirus is all bullshit. That's why no one.
Oh, it's a thing, and I wasn't saying that it wasn't before either.
Yeah, well, look,
it's a thing, but it's not like what they're making it out to
I've been
be.
sitting on the fence, but this Greek guy that comes up on the weekend, he's only been out since 98. He said it's going through Greece like a dose of salt.
Yeah, right.
It's fucking killing them. But they're all smokers.
Yeah.
Fucking over.
They're all in the high category of the vulnerable.
Yeah. And they're all fucking close together.
Yeah.
Every fucking house on the Clinton Coast is on the market for about 5 minutes now, and it's gone.
Yes, because me and my wife are in the market. We're in the market and we're looking, and yeah, they're getting snapped up, aren't they?
Yeah.
Hey.
All
right, cheers, thanks guys, enjoy Gavin.
Yeah, all right.
Good on you fellas, thanks. See ya. Well, there you go. Hey, that was not predicted. And and a few things were said that were just kind of how it is. And like while you might support an idea from a group or an individual that sounds realistic and that fits, doesn't mean that you support everything. And I've said that before, like that Dr. Rashid and that El Adwadi economist guy that we were talking about before. Some of the stuff that they've said is like makes sense because the numbers don't lie. It's spot on. And especially about the medical stuff that Rashid talks about, But it doesn't mean that I support everything that they say. And then when they were talking about Latham then, some of that stuff that he's trying to achieve, being a member of the One Nation, which I'm not a supporter of One Nation. I've never voted for him, and that. But like when you hear about some of the things that they're trying to do in terms of the our energy, systems or, in our carbon footprint and stuff, it makes sense. So, and there are a few other contentious topics or subjects that were touched on there that the anonymous random dude touched on, that he's out there and he was older than me, and his mate didn't have much to say, but they looked like they were pretty level-headed dudes, and that not because that we agreed on some things, on certain things, that I found their other stuff interesting. I just like level-headed, balanced, correct, accurate assessments and views and thoughts. And he was pretty, it was good to hear him just to open up and share. And he touched on a few things. So, and some people might be offended by his views and his thoughts, but they're his views and his thoughts, and I agreed with quite a few of them actually, and I had my own opinions and input, but I just wasn't expecting that, but I like it when things like that happen, just random, just people that are willing to just like share and just have a chat. So it's great, and it's only 9:30, so I'm doing good. It's a good start to the day actually, and it's beautiful out there on that beach. I need to get into that water, but I'm going to be going until 8 o'clock tonight. So I won't get to wet my feet today. I'm still recovering from that leg injury that I had, but much better. I haven't been able to put a shoe on, but the leg's getting better. I've stuck with the antibiotics and not had a beer at all since, I don't know how long that's been, a few days. Well, not a few days, but over a week. It's been over a week since I left Canamble, so probably Saturday, not gone, but the Saturday before. So yeah, I haven't had a beer for it. Doesn't bother me either, I can go without. But there's those afternoons, you know, when it's been hot and you've had a long day and you just want to have one and just go, you know, and just chill out and relax. But I've stayed off of it while I've been taking the antibiotics because I was in a bad way for a few days, and I just, you know, needed to continue to work and I need to recover quickly. So yeah, I can just get on with business. But it's all good. And so there's a wrap there for you. A YouTube that I wasn't expecting. I wonder how many thumbs down and thumbs up I'll get, or comments of people saying that I'm a racist, or that I'm a lefty, or that, you know, whatever. But, you know, like I said, there's good and bad in everyone. We've all, you know, got something that we can whinge and complain about. I have a lot of Aboriginal friends that I love dearly, and I'd do anything for them as they would for me. And, you know, I don't have any issues. If you're a whinger and an a-hole, and, you know, you're piping on or banging on about issues that, you know, you can do something about, then, you know, we're all there, aren't we? You know, it's just how you live, how you react, how you receive, you know, your attitude. That's like one thing that they can take all sorts of shit away from you. They can take, you know, your car, your money, your clothes, your family, but the one thing they can't take away from you is your attitude. And yeah, that's yours, you know. And even when we talk about they can take your dignity, but I think that's related to attitude. I mean, that was a book that I read, written by a Jewish person during the war that was in those concentration camps or those death camps, and they survived and they wrote that book. And that's what they said. They said, you know what, they took everything, the car, their money, their house, the family, everything. And he even said their dignity. But the one thing they couldn't take away from him was his attitude. And that's true. So you just got to look at it. There's good and bad in everyone. And we've all got issues about something. You know, I look a bit wider and a bit broader. You know, if you've got issues about something, and, you know, I support a lot of my friends that, you know, have, you know, agendas and issues with certain aspects of society and life in Australia and in our communities. And I do. I like their stuff. I'll share it. I'll have an opinion. I'll do whatever I can do. But sometimes you're kind of kept at arm's length. But they want your support, but they still keep you at arm's length, and you don't, you know, you're not invited to be that involved. And I won't get that involved at certain levels because I lack the knowledge, not because I don't support or believe, but I lack, that depth required to go to the next level. But I'm there. I'll walk alongside you if I believe in it, and I will. So, that said, and considering it's a cracker of a day, but those clouds are still hanging around over there, and the soulless blues, I just don't get it, right? Let's see what that's done to my hair. I'll turn it around this way. I'll do it that way a couple of times. Let's have a look. Oh, there's the light on the forehead. Does it need a bit of makeup? Because that's what they do in TV land. Put a bit of makeup on it if it's got a bit of shine going on there. Cerasol. My wife will say, Balil. She'll say to me, Cerasol is I think a national hero who used to have his hair like full brill creamed, back like that, with the hectic amount of product in it. And Balil means yuck in a sense. So, God bless America. And I hope they sort out that shit with Trump. If he was, done by, illegally rorted or whatever. Because, the things that guy spoke of, it's what I've seen, it's what I believe. And he wasn't, anybody who needed help, spelling cat. Oh, here's the beach. Chook, look, have a look. There's a couple of people floating around down there, but the surf lifesavers are on today. He's up there in his little hut. It's gorgeous. Yeah, so Australia. That's my. You got a little bit of insight there about that. That, like I said, I wasn't expecting that to happen, but I jumped straight into it, and it was good to hear, somebody that knows somebody, and even though his information about the COVID. It's just tearing through Greeks, because they live on top of each other. They're all smokers, and they're kind of just disrespecting the social distancing thing, I guess. I never said it wasn't a thing. I just said that that there's an opportunity there to take the piss. Different forms of and levels of government and business and stuff. But it's a thing. But it's there's a small group that are vulnerable, and so we've got to take care of business. Do what you got to do for you and your family, your mob, your people, and to protect yourselves, and just have empathy, and respect other people's views and opinions. I'll speak out sometimes, and sometimes I just won't have an opinion. But sometimes it's not worthy. You just don't bother. But but if you're fighting for something that you truly believe in, and you're passionate about it, and it means more to you than just you there and then in the moment. If it's about the future of others, a culture, an ideal, back yourself, and be smart about it. I know a couple of people that are doing that, and have been for a long time. A couple of quite clever people too, actually. There's one of them I'm thinking about asking him him to come along and have a chat, because I believe in the work that he's doing. A friend of mine, Nathan, I believe in the work that he's doing, and he's doing it cleverly. He's smart, he's an intelligent man, and I have full respect for him. So, alright, you beautiful people, social influencers. What'll happen with Freddie? Will Wayne be employed as a coach again? Is he the guy? You know, based on what was achieved this year. And I read a really well balanced review of all that. You know, Wayne took a group of guys that were predominantly, 14 at least, maybes, that were triers and doers, and a few I already voiced my opinion on. I didn't think were ever going to be Origin level players, and he did what he did. And Freddie just took a bunch of guys, and we talked about out of position stuff. And I believe that some players, and they have, as they have in the past, played out of position or not in the position that they're playing at their club. Because, you know, when you've got 3 5/8s, you know, that are all shit hot attackers and defenders, and they've got vision, then, yeah, you include them, play them in the centres, you know, put one at 5/8, play the others at centre. And that's happened in the past. So I'm not totally against playing guys out of position, but when you've got specialists, you know, in form, you know, you put them there, not guys that, you know, were doing well in other positions, and then you play them totally out of position. So, you know, a really well balanced review and thoughts on that the other day. Probably the best one that I've read, and that's pretty much in line with my thoughts. It was quite clever, you know. Wayne did what he did with his group, miraculously, but not. I was interested, and my expectations weren't high, but I didn't think that they'd fail either miserably at all. I knew that we'd see a good contest, and we did. But if anyone failed miserably, it was the Blues. Yeah, based on what they had to choose from, and you know what they did with it. So yeah, all good. I'll have a look at that. I'll see if I screenshot that conversation, and I might share a little bit more on that. That'll upset a few of you. All right. All right. Social influencers, social distancers, social trendsetters, social pests. Very good.